Hi, I'm here today with Dee Mani, author of My Way, a book which is actually a 3 times Amazon bestseller. And Dee is also a founder of My Way CBD. Really good to see you today, Dee. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Oh, great. It's my pleasure. You know, I'm a huge advocate of CBD, so this is a really great topic for me to discuss with you. Let's start at the beginning. So let's go to the book, My Way. How did that come about?
Okay, so the book basically is my journey of when I was going through a cancer diagnosis. I was diagnosed in 2017, so I'm 6 years clear this year of triple negative breast cancer, which is deemed to be the most aggressive type of cancer that you can get. It was grade 3 as well, so the prognosis wasn't very good. I was told by my oncologist that I would have a year to live because I refused chemotherapy and radiotherapy. I healed within a year. No, not within a year. Sorry, I healed within 5 months.
That's just incredible.
Yeah, incredible. And I'm still 6 years clear. So statistically, for refusing chemo, I should be dead by now. And if I did do chemo, I should have had a recurrence within the first 2 years anyway, which was also my reasoning for not taking the medication. So then obviously I wrote a book purely for closure. So then I can just put it aside and just carry on with my life. But then it kind of put me on this path of where I am now, basically, as being a natural health advocate and doing what I do with the CBD, cannabis, and healing people, basically. So the book caused a lot of press attention. So I was in the media, that's why it went to an Amazon bestseller, actually 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah, there was another time just before Christmas as well because it went on sale. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the book. And it has helped. I get people contacting me all the time, all over the world. It's sold, I don't even know how many copies it's sold, but it is sold worldwide. I also have an oncologist in Korea, North Korea, who bought the rights of the book and then republished the book in Korean. So they're integrative oncologists. So they now give the book for free for every cancer patient that walks through their oncology doors. And so this was about 2 years ago. When I last chatted with the oncologist, they did say that their statistics, their death rate has gone down, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So hopefully.
And you also do a lot of work with the cancer support group that you set up.
I do, yeah. I have the cancer support group on Facebook and on Telegram. Facebook isn't being so kind to me lately because they keep kicking me out my own group. I pretty much think that group will be closed down on Facebook pretty soon because I've had too many warnings. But we do have it on Telegram. I am probably going to be setting up my own app anyway for it, just so it will never go down.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
we'll share the description in the description of the video. We'll share those groups as well. And if you can, jump straight onto the Telegram rather than Facebook.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason why I started the group is because there are a lot of groups on Facebook, but a lot of them heavily promote chemo. And when people don't want to do chemo, they get quite judgmental on the group. You know, and in the groups, it's not everybody's doing it naturally. A lot of people are there with chemo, but we don't judge anybody in the group. And it's a safe space. It's a place for not only cancer patients, but also their families and, their loved ones and friends as well. So it really does help people, and it's what's needed. So it is quite outstanding for the patients, actually, that's on it.
Absolutely. So you then decided to launch your own CBD brand rather than, I know that you looked into what was out there on the market at the time, but what led you to decide to do this yourself?
So, I had a lot of people contacting me, asking me for good, decent CBD brands, and I will only recommend products that I've trusted myself. And I did go through quite a lot of brands. I wasn't finding any of them that particularly great. I didn't find their concentration levels high enough. So with my own brand, we produce up to 6,000 milligrams, which is legally the highest concentration that you can produce without getting closed down. And a lot of the other brands on the market were only doing up to about 2,000, which, you know, CBD doesn't heal cancer, by the way. It's cannabis oil that you need for that, but CBD can prevent the cancer from spreading, and it can also prevent cancer in the first place. So I did do a lot of research. I did try numerous brands, and I just thought, you know what, I might as well just start producing my own. So that's what we did. We set up production in the UK, which is running smoothly now. And we also now are in the process of setting up production in Portugal as well, purely because it was after Brexit, it was just increasingly difficult for people around Europe to get the product sent to them without any hassle at customs. Even though it's legal, it's still now anything that gets sent from the UK to Europe, because of the whole situation with Brexit, they have to pay tax and customs charges. So hopefully, we're going to be expanding into Europe really soon.
That's really exciting. Amazing.
And also with my CBD, so we've launched, what we do is we produce CBD with essential oils as well, which again is very beneficial to not only cancer patients but for all patients. So it's kind of like you're getting two oils for the price of one, because our cost is still relatively low compared to what's on the marketplace right now.
I think you are now a PHA affiliated with My Way CBD, and I have got a background with CBD, which is why I'm such a big advocate of it. So when I came to look on behalf of PHA for a CBD company to be affiliated with, yours stood out in so many different ways. Primarily for me, in my initial search, it was, you know, what's the quality? Do we have third-party independent testing? All of those things that you really want to tick a box with. But you know, your pricing is amazing. It's so competitive, and it's important to us at PHA that healthcare is something that everybody can afford. It's, you know, it shouldn't be a privilege for the wealthy. So the fact that you are very much focused on making this affordable for as many people as possible is something that aligns very much with us.
And that was the main thing. So we do a range from 500 milligram, which is relatively quite inexpensive, up until 6,000 milligram. And the reason why we're doing so many concentrations is so it can be affordable for people out there. And also, we have incorporated the essential oil, so people aren't having to spend the money to buy 2-3 different bottles. There, it's the same price basically, whether you have it with the essential oil or not. And people shouldn't have to be paying over the top prices just to have access to good quality oil. And yes, you rightly mentioned about the COAs, which is the clinical analysis, which is a third-party testing, and we do have all our batches tested. Our certificates are available if anybody ever wants to see them. A lot of people do have them on the website, but because they change so often, it's quite difficult to have them, you know, updated constantly on the website. But we do have them, and it's very important, not only so you know exactly what's in your oil, but also so you know the quality as well, which is highly important. Absolutely. And also as well, because there's a difference between broad spectrum and full spectrum. Obviously, the full spectrum has the tiny traces of THC, not enough to get you high. It's only 0.2%. But there is a lot of oil on the market that doesn't even state whether it's broad or full. It just states hemp oil or CBD oil. So unless you see the certificate, you actually don't know if there's any THC in there or not. Because a lot of websites now as well don't want to put THC on the website, because they know that, you know, a lot of people are put off by then, or you can advertise and you can't advertise THC anyway. Even though the levels are legal, it's still a grey area in the
thing is as well, in the UK, it's not something that's regulated, is it? Because it's classed as a food supplement.
It is, yeah, as long as you've got the novel foods, as long as it's under 0.3% THC, we purposely do add at 0.2%. You only need that tiny bit of percentage, and it's not, people think it's psychoactive. The amount of people that contact me and say, I didn't feel the oil, I didn't feel a high. Well, you'll only feel a high if your THC is 15% and over, and that's not,
which would be marijuana.
Exactly, that's cannabis. That's from the marijuana plant. It's still under the same plant. It's still the cannabis, but you know, one CBD is made from the hemp plant with low levels of THC and high levels of CBD, whereas cannabis which is, you do have a high THC, is from the marijuana plant with a low CBD. So there is confusion, and people just still don't understand the difference between CBD and cannabis. So you're not going to fix that.
We're going to fix that, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to
talk about that later.
out.
But yeah, it's about educating people, for sure.
It is. It's all about educating people, and also educating people into understanding the plants and the differences of the plants and how they work with the body and the endocannabinoid system, which is why we're going to be doing the workshops with you guys as well in July.
No, very excited about that, sure. But you do already have a cannabis university that you set up as well. Like you didn't have enough going on, you've done that as well. So tell us a bit about that.
So the reason why I set that up, because during COVID, when a lot of people did lose their jobs, unfortunately, a lot of people were asking, well, first of all, a lot of people were saying that I was very lucky to be living in Portugal. But, you know, I left the UK in 2002. So I've lived outside of the UK for over 20 years. But then I wanted to do something to help people. And then I realized that the cannabis industry is the fastest and most stable growing industry in the world at the moment. And I think it will be in time to come. So I wanted to incorporate that into where people have lost their jobs. So this is why I set up the university, so people can take courses on cannabis, not only CBD, but this is cannabis. And this is in the courses, you'll learn everything from growing the plant, to producing the plant, to being a lawyer, a cannabis lawyer, to owning a dispensary, to being a harvester, to being a health consultant like myself. There's loads of different areas within the cannabis industry. Now, there's also a lot of jobs available, and a lot of the jobs all over the world, a lot of them are remote. So you could be doing the jobs from home anyway. You don't need to physically be in a cannabis institution or, you know, a plant where they're producing marijuana. So I put these courses together. There's 32 courses. They're all certified, and they all would be recognized by people within the industry. So if you do want to get in the cannabis industry, you're better off getting certified, doing the courses. So then, you know, for instance, if there's a job going, even if it's just for someone to do social media or marketing for a cannabis company, they're going to want to use somebody that knows the industry and knows it inside out anyway, rather than somebody that has no certificates or no experience whatsoever. When I last checked on, I think it might have been Indeed, the job site, there was over 3,000 remote jobs for cannabis available. And this was about 3 months ago. So the jobs out there. But now, because cannabis is a fast growing industry, Portugal now is the European hub of cannabis. Then we've got Greece and Germany in Europe quite closely behind. Italy as well is coming in great. So if people do want to get out of the UK, they can do the courses, or even if they don't do my courses, they can, you know, arm themselves with the knowledge. There are other courses available. I'm not saying just use mine, but then they can then think about moving, leaving the UK and getting into a country where cannabis is striving. Thailand as well, if you do want to go to Asia, Thailand is massive at the moment because it is fully legalized for recreational and medicinal. And now, you know, I've had people all over in Thailand sending me photos. It's everywhere there. So if you did want to get to Asia, you would definitely get it, because they have an abundance of jobs available in Thailand at the moment. So the whole purpose of the university was to arm people with the education so they know everything, so then they can get a foot on the ladder and they can have a slice of the industry, basically, because there's money out there. And, you know, if people have got the knowledge, then they can. But even if you didn't want to be in the industry, even if you just wanted to use the courses to heal yourself, then I think there's value in that anyway. So
absolutely, there's massive value in that. And I think, you know, obviously our workshop that we're about to talk about is just one little part of the equation. This is just the CBD side, but let's talk about the workshop, because, you know, I think it's really important that people do understand the history of cannabis, the history of hemp and CBD and how it was demonized, because let's face it, you can't slap a patent on nature. And make money from it. And, you know, from the workshop point of view, once you understand that, it's important to understand what the endocannabinoid system is. Most people don't know that we have one. I mean,
And people don't know that we have one because it was removed from the biology and the scientific and the chemistry. It's been removed from all the books.
Yeah.
And I read, and the science books, and I think it was probably removed about the time that it came decriminalized, which is about in 1941 all over the world, because I don't want you to know about it.
Yeah.
Basically, we all have an endocannabinoid system. I'm just going to briefly run through this because we're going to be discussing it in the workshop. But we all have an endocannabinoid system, and the endocannabinoid system, which is called the ECS, that fuels every single system in your body. In your body, we have 17 systems. You can Google what they all are, that, you know, such as the central nervous system, the endocrine system, the immune system, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, you know. So they're all fueled by the endocannabinoid system. So when we're healing with plant medicine, rather than just masking, we get to the root cause. So say, for instance, mental health issues, anxiety, depression. When people are suffering from stress, anxiety, depression, usually it's because of your central nervous system. And if your central nervous system is depleted, that's because your endocannabinoid system is also depleted. So rather than you just addressing the central nervous system, address it from the root cause, which is the endocannabinoid system. So if you fuel your body with cannabinoids, then your central nervous system will thank you for it. This is why a lot of people find relief that suffer from anxiety with CBD alone. It's also the same as hormonal issues. Your hormones are regulated by your endocrine system. Your endocrine system is fueled from, again, your endocannabinoid system. So when people are having issues with their hormones, such as menopause or even testosterone in men, again, if they supplement with CBD, it usually alleviates the issues right there. So
and
it's
I
all
just jump in there really quickly. I think I told you yesterday about this, but my journey with CBD began maybe 5 years ago when I discovered CBD. I had actually been on antidepressants for 13 years, stemming back to my son being born and being labelled with postnatal depression. 13 years went very quickly, and I just kind of used to say to myself, look, if it's one pill a day for the rest of my life and it keeps me on that even keel. Then I discovered CBD, and it opened up a whole new world, and within a couple of months I weaned myself off the antidepressants. At the same time, I'd started to go through the menopause, and CBD helped me sail through that. So both of those things that you've just brought up there are spot on from my experience. And that's the reason I got involved with CBD and sharing it with other people, because it's incredible.
It is incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
Incredible for so many things.
For everything, for literally every ailment. Yes. I fully believe that every ailment can be healed with either cannabis or CBD. Because every ailment is a depletion of one of your systems, and all of your systems is an effect from the endocannabinoid system. But just touching on that point where you said, oh, it's only one pill for the rest of my life, it's fine. Now, if everybody has that kind of attitude, that it's only one pill or half a pill or 2 pills or 3 pills, however, any big pharma drug is toxic. And I know that because my background was in pharmaceuticals. I trained to be a pharmacist. I left when I uncovered the corruption, and I just couldn't stay in an industry that was just corrupt to the core. So every drug that is produced in a laboratory for big pharma causes a direct effect. Now, we're being programmed to say the side effects, and they're not side effects at all, the direct effects. So say, for instance, antidepressants. Most often, antidepressants will cause diabetes. Or heart tablets will cause cancer, for instance, or I don't know, or even diabetic injections or insulin or whatever, that can then go on to cause like inflammatory of the body. So then you can get fibromyalgia. But people don't connect the two. People don't think that, okay, so say, for instance, if you was on use antidepressants for 13 years and then all of a sudden you develop diabetes, you would never, ever connect the dots. To see that's from the antidepressants that you've been taking. Yeah. And the doctors won't tell you that. They'll put it down to diet or genetics or some other, crap excuse.
The thing is, I mean, the point about the endocannabinoid system, doctors get about 6 hours training in their whole 7 years of medical school or whatever it is, on this system. That's it.
Yeah,
Most if you ask them, have no idea what you're talking about.
Because the thing is with doctors, and this is the misconception, people think that doctors know everything about health and about the body and how the body works. Doctors are trained on medicine. That's why they're called doctors of medicine. So basically what a doctor will do is they will go through all their training. Very limited is on the body. Zero is on, well, not zero, but hardly any is on nutrition, or any other toxic matters, you know, that can damage your health. They're trained in medicine. So their job basically is to just match the medicine with the ailments, or match the symptoms, sorry, with the ailments. And how many times have you been to the doctor's surgery and you'll tell them how you're feeling, what your symptoms are, and then they're tapping away in a computer. So they're basically putting in your symptoms, or and then it looking in the book. Well, the book is called the C&D. It's called the C&D Control, and I can't even remember. But this is like a pharmacist's Bible, basically. Yeah. And it's what we used to use. And it's basically, you just look in the book. And I used to look in the book because I was always very conscious when I was in my pharmacy days. So whenever I had a prescription, I wanted to know exactly what that drug that we was prescribing, or the doctor was prescribing, would do. And then you'd look in this book and it would say what the drug is and what it contains, and all the medicine side of it. But then it would also give a list of side effects. And then it would also always say, so following on from that medicine, they also need this medicine, and then that medicine. So we could see in the pharmacy, we could see in the pharmacy that if they came in for an antidepressant or for whatever, in 3 months' time, they're going to have gut issues, because most medications destroy your gut health anyway. So then they're going to come in. So we would know. If somebody came in after 3 months, we would know instantly the next drug that they were going to be prescribed. And it's so bad, so bad how people are just consuming heavy toxicity of this medication, and it causes liver toxicity, and then liver toxicity then goes on to cause cancer, unfortunately, and other issues as well. But I think cancer is right up there with the one where liver toxicity controls cancer, to be honest with you.
We've got a lot of work to do, but
we'll get there one day.
Well, you know, there's the struggling system that we're already trying to navigate. Can't treat people, so you know, more and more people are looking for alternatives. That's where we step in, and we provide the education, the resources, the collaborations with great people like you that are actually doing it, and providing the things that people need. So very excited to be affiliated with you. The workshop, so we're looking at the history of cannabis, we're looking at the endocannabinoid system and how it works, and we're looking at the benefits of CBD. That'll be great. We'll put links to that in our groups down the line. I think we've earmarked the 20th of July for that.
20th of July, I think it's 7 p.m. and it's going to be a live workshop as well, apparently.
So we'll be sharing that. Also in the description in this video, we'll put links to your cancer support groups. We will put our affiliate link to my CBD, My Way CBD. And the great thing about that, it will literally be a code to put in at checkout, and you will get 20% discount off your products, which is very generous. But also the PHA will earn some commission on that. So it's a win-win for everybody. You know, the customer gets the discount, and we get to raise funds, which are much needed for key projects. Things like our mental health hotline that we're very keen to do, mental health being on an all-time rise. Together, CBD can help with mental health, as we've discussed, and anxiety.
CBD can help alleviate some of those as well, especially brain fog and memory loss. They're one of the big ones that we're getting at the moment, where people are struggling from. And I'd just like to say as well that the reason why we can keep our costs so low and we can keep giving heavy discounts is because we get so many reviews, and we get so many good reviews, and they go onto Google. So then we're ranking higher up in the Google rank. And obviously the higher we rank, the more reviews that we get, the higher we rank, and the more customers we get. And the more customers we get, the more profit we make. So it's kind of like, you know, we're putting back as much as we get in, which has always been our ethos. So it's great to be sharing those knockbacks with you guys as Well, yeah.
We'll stick the website in the description as well. Do go on, have a look at the testimonials that are on there. They're absolutely amazing. And hopefully, if you're watching, you'll be, you'll be keen to join the workshop too, because there's so much to learn on this subject, but so many benefits that you can get from that knowledge. Yeah,
it's an amazing system. The endocannabinoid system is absolutely amazing, and it's so intriguing. And it kind of also just, it cements the fact that the body really isn't that complex. It's just that we're led to believe it's complex, and the doctors like to make out it's complex and everybody's going to die. But it's not. The body is just an amazing tool. That it's a machine, that it works for itself. And if you look after your body will look after you. Just be natural 100% all the time. Stay away from the doctors.
Absolutely. Great note to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dee. We really look forward to seeing you on the 20th on the workshop. As I said, all the details will go in the description, and let's learn together.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. Speak to you soon.